Well, I've taught many years, and each generation has been different. The present generation of students I have are particularly close-knit, which is nice to see. I think a lot of that has to do with just personalities meshing so well, and people having so much in common. We always joke with each other about the fact that we're, the kind of the nerdiest mixed martial artists you'll find. That someone will give some obscure sci-fi reference, and everybody else will get it. It's like you get a lot of people who they've never been hit, they've never hit anybody, they've never just done something this hard. It's hard work. That's one thing that people realize. It sort of overturns a myth they might get from watching TV and movies, is that somehow that's just some push-button ease to fighting. No, it's hard. Fighting is hard, and it hurts. Even training to fight hurts. And there must be an interesting psychology behind what draws people to do that, despite the fact that it hurts, despite the fact that it's hard. There's something about that very fact that makes it worth it. I take the job seriously as far as, really giving something to the teaching, giving thought, giving time and effort. And I've noticed that, students are, good people. They respond to that, and it brings out the best, I think, in them. Because I've seen some really good things in people since we've gone through this experience of losing our lease and, looking for a new location. In the meantime, people wanted to keep training. So one of the pressures and the responsibilities is just doing everything we have to do to keep the training going as it has, which we have done. There's really nothing missing from what we had or did from the other academy, and that's just through sheer effort on everybody's part, which is nice, because then it became something more than just a gym people used to go to, but it's sort of a mindset people carry, that there's sort of an environment that the people that come out here to train, they create that, and that doesn't just work on the other people in the class, it works on me as well. It can be inspiring. Generally, the ones that are not as naturally talented end up doing the best if they have the follow-through, if they just simply refuse to quit. On some level, they realize that if they're not willing to quit, they haven't failed. And so those people end up being the very best practitioners I ever taught, much better than the natural athletes, much better even than the ones who had previous experience. If they come to me and act like it's going to be easy for them, or if they lose interest once no one is watching or something, they're wanting to always put on an exhibition. But the ones who have some inner goal, they do the best. But I think the track record and the history that we have is a big part of what made us want to continue it despite the changing circumstances. That we've been doing it so long, and there are people who really, really genuinely care about the program, and so whatever hardship came, it was worth it. It was worth it to keep going rather than to see it end. Something to that, I think. Sometimes it rains, and sometimes we just keep training. People just kind of look at each other and shrug and just keep training. Like if it was a hot day, if we're out here and it was 90 degrees, 95 degrees, and then suddenly it started raining, we're like, great. People were just determined not to give up their class that day, so we had the mats out, and then it turned into a slip and slide where people were getting on one of the mat and running and sliding on the mat just because it seemed too inviting not to do it. It's hard to account for except where you factor in the human will, and then that explains everything.
After all of that, if I asked you again, what is IFA, would your answer change?
Yes. IFA is people. So yeah, it does change my answer. It's people.